Hey everyone, welcome to Gifted Talkers, and no, this is not Kayfabe Studios. I mean, this is what do we call this? Channel Control Studios. This is where we are. This
call
is
it that.
well, we need a fancier name. I mean, like,
We'll come with something later.
what was it like? What was it the guy from DC Comics who, like, the TV guy who, like, watched everybody and, like, created his own television, like, series out of all, like, the heroes and stuff.
God, I can't remember.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever that guy's Fortress of Solitude would be this place.
Whatever that guy is, that's what.
That's this place.
All right.
Because he watches a whole bunch of TV, and we also record channel control out of here. Now, the reason why we've got Rob over here, which is, not BC, much prettier than BC. Yeah, I mean, come on, you know.
Yeah.
The reason why BC's not here is because
I knocked him out and sent him in a crate overseas.
That happened, yeah. And me, Matt, the other guy that's on the show, I watched. And I cheered on encouragement. But BC lost.
Because screw BC.
You know what I'm really surprised about? Is that, like, you didn't take the belt. Like, whenever you beat him, and you knocked him out, like... at one point, it looked like you were pinning him. And I was like, 1, 2, 3, ha, ha, ha. You didn't take the belt.
Oh, I didn't want the belt.
Why didn't you want the belt?
I just want to send another country.
Oh.
Get home on your own.
Spoiler alert for all the listeners of It Is What It Is. He's having a rough go.
God, it was so bad.
It's hilarious. So he went to the UK, and so, if you follow him on social media, he's doing the whole Jackass in UK, blah, 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 which is, like, the worst hashtags. I gave him, like, the greatest one, which is a Jackass in London, which is a play on words with a werewolf in London. Mm-hmm. But, he didn't take that. He was like, oh, man, that's such a dope idea. I should totally do that. And then I look at his hashtags, and it's like, International Jackass. Jackass UK tour. I'm like, bro. Like, your hashtags are weak, bro. Anyway.
I need to work in my hashtag game.
You didn't, yeah. You don't really have much of a hashtag game.
No.
Yeah, you just don't hashtag.
I have no hashtag.
Yeah, you just post, so you have, like, no hashtag.
No, on Instagram I have.
I don't look on Instagram too often. I'm mostly on Twitter, because on Instagram I see a whole bunch of pictures I don't really care about.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll start looking at you. Mm-hmm. I promise.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I won't BC you. All right, welcome to Gifted Talkers. I know we went off on a big tangent, but we just had an episode last night. This is a little bit late than we normally would. It was a good one. What did you think of the episode?
I liked it. I have to say, when I saw the name of the episode, I got a little worried.
Why?
Because the last time I saw an episode named Home, someone left the show.
Yeah, I know. I was a little worried about that too. Yeah.
And in this one, someone kind of did leave.
Yeah, but it was one of those departures that I think we've been expecting for some time. I mean, the moment that Blink, united herself with the Morlocks, I feel like it was kind of like an inevitability that she was going to inevitably be there, essentially. Mm-hmm. So that was a. See, here's the thing that I find so interesting, though, is that, 2 episodes, Thunderblink got back together, they were good, they were schmoozing, everything's fine, and then we have last week's episode, and everything's, I guess, fine still, it's not really that much of a big deal, and then this episode is just like, I'm leaving you.
Well, that's because Thunderbird had his own thing that he was dealing with, and he wanted to find... track down the purifiers. That's the name of it. Whatever.
It was the purifiers.
The purifiers. Yeah. He wanted to get these guys and find them, and then get to Riva and all this stuff. And he's preoccupied with saving mutant kind and the world probably. And she's like, "But love me."
Yeah, like, pretty much.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, and this is something that we've been tracking pretty much all season long, and it's something that I even said at the beginning of the season was that, Thunderblink was not going to last very long. Mm-hmm. That, there was going to be those cracks in the relationship, and we were going to see them, and I really thought that they were going to split off, and sure enough, here we are, and they did split off. And we saw earlier in the season where you had him going on these like rage and roid raging on all these things, and and now it's just kind of hit a brink, and I think it had a lot to do with this episode with the death of Evangeline, if I'm not mistaken, that's her name.
Yeah.
And that's the Dragon Lady, if you guys don't remember. The Dragon Lady, who essentially is like the lawyer that represents the X-Men. It's kind of a weird thing.
The one that kind of found John. Yeah, the one that found John.
The one that found
way
John.
back when and got him into the whole thing.
And I want to get into that because the whole... There were several different storylines in this episode, and obviously Thunderblink was a big part, and their big motivation in this episode was trying to save Evangeline, because they found out from Lorna that the three people that Riva brought in, those basically terrorists, were coming in, and they were about to come up with some sort of plan, and that she kind of pieced it together that they were going to go after Evangeline. Well, I just thought that the quote-unquote death of Evangeline was extremely lackluster.
Yeah, it was like they're going, and then it was you just go to the next scene and it's done.
Yeah,
it was like,
exactly.
No dialogue, nothing.
No dialogue. There was no like action at all.
Duh.
It's just you show up and it's just like all these people are being body bagged, and you're like, huh? What? Like, there was nothing. Like, I just thought that there was a lot of... If you're going to do that, if you're going to kill off, which seems somewhat of a main character, or at least not a main character.
A major.
She's a major character, yeah. If you're going to just, like, up and kill her, like, I feel like we need to have, like, a better send-off than that.
The reason why is because they used up their special effects budget in the danger room.
Yeah.
Doing all that stuff. That there was like, we ain't got the money in the budget to do a fight.
You could have cut it. You could have cut that part. There were a lot of things in this episode you could have cut or maybe saved till next week, Like, honestly, like, half the stuff with Dad in this episode, I was like, we don't really need all this.
Yeah.
A little bit. And even a little bit of stuff with Lauren and Mom. And, how they're just hanging out on the ranch, and they're just like, so, what'd you do behind these bleachers? So it's like,
Yeah, that's when Lauren finds that her mom was kind of a whore when she was younger.
Wow.
Really?
I mean, like, not
she was
20...
like, how many guys did you kiss?
Bro, it's 2019. You can't say that.
I can't.
No.
I shouldn't. I can say whatever.
No.
I just shouldn't.
You really shouldn't. No. But yeah. So... Anyway, it seemed like a really just meh send off. Like I didn't like it. I thought we could have done a lot better with it, especially for what happened next. Whenever you had Thunderbird attacking the Morlock leader, Erg, and he's so angry about what's going on, and he's kind of mourning, but. He's mourning, and it's... I just didn't get why, Like, I guess I'm now supposed to assume that Evangeline's dead based off of what we saw. And then, like, the next time we see them, it's just kind of like, oh, mourning's a bit over. And now, by the way, I'm breaking up with you. Yeah, it's just... That whole thing just was really ridiculous, and I didn't like the way that they did it.
Yeah, it was just like, everybody in a relationship, raise your hand. Not you.
Yeah. We got to talk.
So, God damn it. But even though they did, he really wasn't broken up about it because...
He wasn't broken up until you had that little, like, music montage at the end that was wrapping up the whole episode. So, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's like he didn't care because, like I said, he had another love in his life, and that's the mission that he had to get done. So, exactly. I mean... Yeah, you're right in the fact that it was pretty much done. They got back just together. It was like a face value thing.
Yeah. So. Well, another part that could have been kind of cut down a little bit more, and I feel like this honestly was the resounding thing that really could have got cut down, was Andy's arc in this episode. About how Andy he has a dream with Lauren, and Lauren just straight up beats his ass, which... with that, like, I'm fine with. That's cool.
I actually like that part.
I did too. I just kind of wish that we would have seen Lauren, I guess, practice more. Like, learn more about her abilities, get stronger. Like, honestly, give me a montage. Like, last week you could have given me a montage And, this week I could have watched it and be like, oh, get it. Cool. Totally got that. Understand. But either way, she comes in the dream, beats it down Andy to where Andy's like bleeding in real life. And suddenly the cuckoos come in and they're like, oh, hey, you have a connection? A psychic connection?
That's what he said. Yeah,
we'll help you.
It's been going on for like months and like, wait, months?
Yeah.
And he didn't say anything?
Yeah.
Oh! And
now they want to help because they want to bring Lauren into the fold.
Mm-hmm.
The parts that I feel like got cut down, though, was Andy just being like, oh, let me go talk to Lorna about it. Okay, Lorna, what do you think? Like, yeah. And then, like, later on, whenever the cuckoos were like, did you talk to Andy? And then Lorna's like, yeah, I did. What'd you tell him? The truth. Well, he shouldn't have done that. And I'm like, come on, let's just wrap it up. Let's keep going. Let's get moving.
Okay, some of that part where they could have just fast-tracked through some of that. Cut the dialogue. But the whole arc with Andy, as far as that, was all good to me because you're getting to the point where Andy is still conflicted about this whole thing. It's kind of like he wants to be there, but he doesn't want to be, or he at least wants to be with his sister.
Sure.
That's the only thing that's like he wants to reach out to us, and now they're given the option to bring her there, or they're going to force her to come there.
Well, I don't know so much because throughout this episode, or not this episode, this season, Andy has been very resolute on his choice. He's had a lot of moments where he chose the inner circle. Several moments. I mean, the killing of Rebecca. Heck, some of the other parts even before Rebecca was even in play. A lot. I think it was the admission to Reva about something. I can't remember what it was. But there were a lot of things that made Reva be like, okay, you're with us. And even Andy was like, I'm here. I'm
he
doing
proved
this.
his worth to them.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about the one time where he tried to call her.
Yes,
When he was missing her so much that he wanted to.
Now,
he just wanted to talk to her.
I feel like for that, as much as it is, I miss my sibling, whatever, I miss my family in some form or fashion, I kind of have a theory that it has a lot to do with what Dad was reading with the German, with, the two sides of the coin. And the two siblings, about how they're always going to be at war, but they're always also going to yearn for each other because one's dark, one's light. So I had that feeling that maybe that's kind of what it was that, kind of that Kylo Ren thing in The Force Awakens before he kills off Han Solo, where he still has that connection to the light that he's yearning for it in some form or fashion, and then ultimately has to reject, and he rejects it by killing Han. So I feel like we're kind of like that with this, but he's not ultimately going to kill Lauren. That just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So as much as it is that there is that family need, that family connection, I do almost feel like it is also his power, his source of strength, who he is, needing that other side of him. Because they even said in that letter, until you guys are together, when you're together, you're whole.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what that yearning is for. Versus Lauren's just kind of I want to beat your ass till you come back.
I'll make it come back by hurting you.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I could kind of get that. I mean, you say the whole Kylo Ren thing. I was actually, when they said the whole light and dark thing, the first thing that popped into my head was Cloak and Dagger.
Oh, sure, yeah, that makes sense.
Why are they... But I also know the Von Strucker twins from the comic books, who they're supposed to be based on, and they're really not like that. I mean, in the comics, they're tight. But of course, you have to have a story for TV.
Exactly.
So,
you have to have drama. You have to have all that.
So
stuff.
that's why they split them up and do all that. So
I did kind of find it funny that I feel like before this we were. It was very subtle. We kind of assumed that this was a story of light and dark. We didn't really need to flat out say one's the dark, one's the light. Who will be the light side? Who will be the dark side? I was like, all right, so that's why in my mind, whenever they said light and dark, my mind went straight to Star Wars because I'm okay, all right, I guess we're gonna go with this route with it because in X-Men, they never really talk about the light versus the dark. It's just all very assumed. It's all very subtle, you know. Like X-Men are the lights, you know, and everybody else that they fight are the dark.
It's always the X-Men versus the Brotherhood.
Exactly, X-Men versus the Brotherhood, X-Men versus Sentinels, X-Men versus the
Hellfire Club.
Hellfire Club, yeah, all those different people. X-Men versus Apocalypse. I mean, there you go.
Jesus, yeah.
Yeah, so that guy's dark. That guy's straight up dark. Dark Phoenix. Dark Phoenix. Come on.
Okay,
Phoenix
I guess there's a whole dark thing to the X-Men. So, all right, there you go. You made the connection.
Yeah. Did it, guys. What other storylines do we have? So, Lauren and Mom, they went off to go meet up with their uncle, or Mom's brother.
Mom's brother, yeah.
Who we saw in season 1 whenever she went over, or the family went over to her house, or his house, to try and help out the dad. And ultimately got attacked by purifiers in this weird residential neighborhood. Well, now they went back because they need to talk to Homeland Security to find the purifiers. Well, not necessarily find the purifiers, but see what the connection is between the leader of the purifiers, or not the leader, but the TV guy. I can't remember. The guy from the OC. Can't remember his name.
I can't remember either.
But the guy that Riva was meeting with on the last episode, that everybody was like, oh no, she's meeting with the leader of the purifiers. Except they didn't know that. They just thought like, oh, that's the anti-mutant guy. Ultimately, all said and done, Homeland Security comes through and he finds out that, he is the leader of the purifiers. And then the Homeland Security is like, hey, by the way, we need to do a wiretap on you so that way you can go and find out what your sister knows and stuff. Mm-hmm. And then ultimately that whole thing gets blown up. And Lauren inevitably helps them get away.
Yeah.
I really wonder, though, what's going to happen with that uncle? Like, you wore a wire.
Oh,
you end up taking it out.
He's screwed.
Oh, he did. Yeah.
He's screwed.
He's going to be locked up in a hole in like Guatemala, and you'll never see him again.
I mean, the minute he said, as soon as I said Riva, I was in handcuffs.
Oh yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, they're going.
What do you know about Riva? Oh God, what?
What's that Amanda Waller said in this Suicide Squad movie?
Yeah.
They're going to throw him in a hole and throw away the hole.
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, you could pretty much guess that they're already watching him because of who the family and all of this.
Yeah.
So once he walks and starts asking questions, it's like, you're never going to see him again.
Yeah.
If we do, he's going to be joining them to be on the run.
So one of the funniest patterns about The Gifted that I've noticed is that, like, every time Mom's got an idea, like, she goes up, she's like, I think we should go visit my brother, and then always there's someone like dissenting voice. It's like, no, that's insane. Why would you go do that? Please, why? Stop. No. I mean, you're not only going to get yourself in trouble, you're going to get your own family in trouble. And then she's always like, no, I got to do it. And then she ends up just doing it. Always. Every episode, someone's got a great idea. She's like, we're doing it. Like, heck, the whenever, Reed was like having his powers going crazy on him, she was like, well, we need to go see this doctor. And it's like, well, no, like, maybe we should go do this. No, we need to go to the doctor. Like, every time. I love it. It's always that pattern. I'm like, can we, like, cut out some of that stuff, writing team, and maybe, like, not be a little formulaic? A little bit.
It said next time she says, let's do this. Like, you've led us into 5 death traps already. Right? We're not listening to you.
Just not do it, okay?
If you're going alone.
So let's talk about Reed there for a second, because I thought Reed was an interesting point, mainly because of the musical tone that they had for this. It was that old school like lullaby and like X-Men theme song, which if you listen closely, you hear the X-Men theme song. But
really, I did not. Okay.
Yeah, and so like that lullaby like caused him to start going crazy with his powers again. So clearly the medicine's not working, and we're about to hit that stage where Dad's about to go crazy with his powers again. Do you want to see more of that? Because before the season started, or not before the season started, but in the first half of the season, we saw a lot of it, and it was really annoying after a while. I mean, is this something that you want to see more of?
Not really, because even in this episode, when we got to him, I just kind of tuned out.
That's the bad part.
It's all he got the palsy, and then he takes his shot, and he's good again. He's like, the shakes have stopped. And I'm like, okay, you're a junkie.
See, and I like Stephen Moyer. I really like that actor.
Yeah.
And every time I see him on this show, my eyes just glaze over. And it has nothing to do with him. I feel like he's doing the best he can with what he's got. But this entire season, if he's not like freaking out about his powers on the road, which was a terrible idea from the start, he's like just sitting in a room, just being like, oh, it's okay, I'll take care of things, guys. Don't worry. No, you shouldn't go. Okay, you're gonna go? Alright, fine, that's fine. Ah! Every time.
Research my dad. Bad memories.
Yeah. And let's get into memories there. So this episode had a lot of like little flashbacks, and yeah, this is something that they've incorporated a lot in season 2, of these little bits where they're going back in time. And we saw it earlier with Lorna's mom, and then we saw it later, in this episode where you had Blink like remembering her past with her abusive foster father.
Yeah.
And you had it again later on with Reed thinking about the time that he found this music box, and his dad was just like, you never touch this box, and then took it away. I thought that was an interesting choice. I think I could have done without so much of the Reed flashback. I mean, I appreciated the Blink flashback more so than the other one.
Yeah.
Mainly because it saw, like, you saw how Blink, I guess, another person in her life that gave her strength.
Oh, a person that gave their life for her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because the first person we saw was Dreamer, and that was in season 1.
Right. But there was someone even before
that. Yeah.
Yeah, that taught her, great strength too, as well. Which I find interesting, and I want more shows to, like, maybe give us the flashback later, but to kind of mention these people, in previous episodes. And I know that requires a lot of forethought, into where these characters are going. But it would be cool if it was like, and I don't remember the woman's name, so forgive me, for not remembering the little girl's name, but
Lily.
Okay, Lily. If she had like been saying in passing, like, this, I can't let this happen, not again, and be like, what are you talking about? So it happened before with my best friend Lily. It's like, okay, well, do you want to talk about it? No, I don't want to talk about it. Or something like that. Just like mention it, But we never do. Or like something like, yeah, you know what? You remind me of my best friend Lily. Oh yeah, where is she now? She's not with us. Be like, oh, okay, yeah. And then you see the flashback. And it's like, oh, that was Lily. Holy crap.
Yeah, you would really have to come that way in advance to me.
Yeah, you would, but I think that's. And obviously the writers, they have their own little deadlines and things, and I'm sure things get nixed all the time, and you have all these ideas and storyboards of where you want these characters to go, and they get taken and ripped up and whatever and changed. But it still would have been a cool little thing instead of just being thrown into a flashback. But regardless, I like that they showed us. I like that they gave us a little bit more context and a little bit more depth to her, because it did explain why she wanted to go to the Morlocks after that, where she just doesn't like the conflict, she just wants to be in a place where she belongs. She doesn't have to be on the run so much anymore, and she can just live her life in some sort of peace. Obviously, I feel like it's going to be a very short-lived peace, but peace nonetheless.
Yeah, because now you have... Who was the other group the Morlocks did not want to meet with? What that Earth didn't want to meet? What was it?
It was Evangeline's.
It was Evangeline.
Yeah,
okay, all right, yeah. And she didn't want to meet with them, and there's like,
because they have a history,
They're that. Fighting, but Evangeline saved him, so he'd at least want to,
Yeah, but Evangeline left, and I think for him, and how Erg is. It's like it's you ride or die.
Yeah,
you're with us or you're against us in a way.
Which is kind of like the whole Morlock thing way back in the comic books.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the Morlock philosophy.
Yeah.
You're either with us or you're against us. So that was basically this whole episode. I'm curious about where we're gonna go with Lauren versus the Cuckoos in a way. I don't know how this whole flashback's gonna go this vision, this dream is gonna go that they're about to get into, because that's how the episode ended. The episode ended with Andy in bed, about to go to sleep, and the Cuckoos are like, "All right, you ready? You just go ahead and close your eyes, and we're gonna get things going." So I'm gonna be very curious to see what happens with that next week. But what do you think? Where do you think we're going with this next episode? And I feel like we're almost toward the end of the season too. So where do you think we're headed with this end of the season?
I think they're either gonna get Marcus or Marcos and Lauren to join them for a while. Lauren is going to help them break free.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking Dad is going to have a part in destroying Riva.
I think you're probably right, but I almost wonder if Dad's gonna bring the building down or something.
Yeah, see that's the thing. Whether it's his powers just going completely out of control, and killing her and himself, or him finally getting some type of control at some point and killing her, something's going to happen there. The Cuckoos are just going to have to run.
Yeah. Do you think that there's going to be like a sacrifice by the end of the season? Like, obviously we had the death of Evangeline, but I don't think that really was much of an impact. So who do you think there's someone that might die like how Dreamer died last season?
Oh, just a sudden bam, just a thump.
Well, maybe like in the last episode, where it's like, oh, we're taking down Riva, and it's like, oh, no, this guy died.
Well, I already said the dad.
You think Dad might die?
Yeah, I think the dad might. If we want to talk about an unexpected one, the mom.
Yeah, that would be very unexpected.
And that would be kind of like a crossfire thing, or the protective mom. Something where the dad's about to
let's kill the one human.
Yeah, the dad's about to die, his powers are going off, and Reva's there, and she like rushes into a building.
Yeah.
And the whole building comes down.
Right.
Or something like that. That's the surprising one.
I hope they don't bring a building down, to be honest. Because that's what they did at the end of first season. Like, let's do something different. Like, let's figure things out to do. I don't know what. Maybe it's a deal where that'd be interesting. The mutant underground ends up taking over that building that the inner circle was in. That would be an interesting twist. Don't expect that to happen. But I feel like there's got to be someone that changes sides. Like, if we're gonna have someone that dies, like, all right, I feel like Dad or Mom might be like the weak link there that could. Mm-hmm. I don't think anyone else could. Like Blink, no. Thunderbird, no. Like the Von Strucker kids, no. And I feel like Lorna and Marcos, no. Like, it just doesn't make sense for them to die.
Well, shit. I mean, thinking about that now, you just mentioned John. I completely forgot about him. But, I mean, in the comics, the original Thunderbird was killed on, like, the first mission.
Yeah. It's true. You're right.
I mean, he's been around. I've been sitting there watching, like, when are they going to kill him?
Yeah,
when are they going to kill him?
The same thing, though, is like everybody's probably said that with Carol, too, in The Walking Dead. And she's been around for a while now, She's one of the last ones.
Once they left the prison, they're like, yeah, she ain't dying.
Yeah, she ain't dying. She's fine. So, I'm just curious about, like, who could defect? Like, is the Inner Circle going to be taken down this season, or are we going to, like, prolong this into next season? Where are we going? Is it the Purifiers that go down first? And we have a kind of shuffling of the mutants.
Purifiers may get hurt, but they're never going to go away, because in the Marvel mutant world, there's always a group that hates the mutants.
Yeah.
The group goes on forever. You like, it's like the, let's say, the Ku Klux Klan.
It is.
You can take out one chapter, but there's still so many more out there.
Yeah.
And if you take them out, more people are going to get pissed because, those mutants did this.
It's true. So you're right.
Like I said, they may hurt them, but you're not getting rid of the Purifiers.
Yeah.
Only thing you can do, God, I don't know. Like, as far as someone defecting, I really don't know.
Yeah.
So
it's gonna be an interesting end to the season. because there is so much unknown. Like, as much as, like, it is a bit formulaic at times, the end game, I think we're still kind of hazy on. So I'm going to be very intrigued to see where we go from here. But this next episode, it clearly seems like Lauren is not going to be one of those that defects. Whether or not that changes, we'll see. But the light's got to stay with the light, the dark's got to stay with the dark, and that's how we're going to end this off. All right, so that is the end of our episode. Guys, what did you think about The Gifted? The episode was called Home. Rob, put yourself over. Where can the good people of Gifted Talkers find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Channel Control or Instagram on Channel Control TV. I'm actually starting to do a whole lot more stuff on Instagram now.
Yeah.
Thanks to BC.
I know.
He got the ball rolling. I'm like, okay, I got to keep putting stuff up there. But yeah, you can find me in those two places. And we should be getting a episode of Channel Control done this weekend and have something up on Monday.
All right, very good. And just so you know, we don't have a Twitter handle, Gifted Talkers. BC, you're the social media guy. You should handle that. Work on that. Why don't we have that?
He's got so many social media.
I don't care. I need him to get another phone or something, you know? Anyway, so you can find us also on cinelinks.com. Check out all of the news, all the reviews that we have on there. A couple editorials coming out pretty soon that you're going to want to check out. Channel controls on cinelinks.com. Also, you can check out this show on cinelinks.com as well as on the YouTube Cinelinks page, just where we are. We're here. That's how you're watching us. So don't forget to check out all of that. And you can find me on all social media at Move the Joystick. You can also find BC at Ryan Remington. So go ahead and check that out. Follow him and like and subscribe, all that stuff like that. Guys, I have been Matt, a.k.a. Quad X. This guy has been Rob, a.k.a. Ntropi. And
X.
Ntropi X. Is the X silent? I don't know.
I guess.
Entropies. All right, guys. This has been an episode of Gifted Talkers. We will see you next week. Bye.
Bye bye. Snickety snicked.
Yeah.